So I finally built my first CPU mining rig, and this video is going to be a bit of an introduction to everything CPU mining. I want to start by quickly talking about why I'm getting into CPU mining now and what my plans are. I'm then also going to go through exactly what parts I used for this particular build and how I set it up, as well as what I'm mining on it, how profitable that is, and why I picked that coin specifically. And then finally, I want to talk about more CPU mining content that I've got coming up on the channel. So all of that is what's coming up in this video. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. unMineable is a service that lets you mine like normal on your GPU or ASIC rigs, but be paid out in over 70 different cryptos, most of which are, well, unMineable. This is a great service for those of you who might want to build a diverse crypto portfolio without having to go through the hassle of giving away your personal information, paying exchange fees, and triggering taxable events when buying coins. Thanks to unMineable, you also don't have to make the choice between mining the most profitable coin and mining the coin that you actually want to hold long term. For example, my Jazz miner is the only rig in my farm that's been consistently profitable since the ETH merge. However, it mines Ethereum Classic, which isn't really a coin that I'm too keen on holding personally. But with unMineable, I can keep that same level of mining profitability, but be paid in different coins I actually do want to hold, like maybe Dogecoin or Flux or Bitcoin. Also, make sure you add hashtag #Seb to the end of your worker name to get a 25% discount on their fee. You do this in your miner batch file on Windows or in setup miner config in your HiveOS flightsheet. So check out unMineable through the link in the video description and get started today. So how and why am I getting into CPU mining? Well, the how is pretty simple. As I've talked about in previous videos, like this one, I'm selling a lot of my unprofitable GPUs to buy other mining hardware, like CPU mining rigs. So then we get to the reasons for why I'm getting into CPU mining, and again, they are also pretty simple. First off, it's straight up just more profitable than GPU mining. As of making this video, the most profitable GPU, which is the RTX 4090, makes about 22 cents of profit per day after power at my 13-cent electric price. And then in contrast to that, just your average run-of-the-mill CPU, the 3900X, makes 21 cents of daily profit after power for me. So pretty much exactly the same in terms of profit, but with two key differences. To get those 21 to 22 cents of profit, a 3900X only uses about 90 watts of power, while the 4090 uses 250 watts of power. And also not to mention that a 4090 costs about $1,600 or something, while you can build a full 3900X mining rig for about, I don't know, $390, $400. So it uses way less than half the power for the same profitability, and you can get 4 full rigs of them for the price of one 4090. Next reason for why I'm getting into CPU mining is because I want to diversify my farm. I won't go into it much here because I've kind of talked about it a lot in previous videos, but up until the Ethereum merge, my mining farm was pretty much like 100% GPUs. So I want to expand into other types of mining, like CPU mining. And the final reason for why I want to get into CPU mining is because, to be honest, putting this rig together has been the most fun I've had in mining for a good while. Finding the parts, figuring out the build, getting it all set up, and then actually seeing it be profitable really makes it feel like the good old days of mining again. So let's talk about the parts I used for this build, but I want to preface this by saying that this is not an optimal build in any way, if there even is such a thing. And I also will have a more proper video that goes into what parts to actually get for CPU mining in more detail. This is just what I found at really good prices around me at this very moment, and I will link all of the parts down in the video description for those of you who might want to get into CPU mining. So anyway, let's start with the CPU. It's an AMD Ryzen 9 3900X. I got it second-hand for about $275, and yeah, this thing is just like a workhorse when it comes to CPU mining. It's fairly efficient and also pretty powerful in terms of just overall hash rate. Basically, the only significant step up in both total hash rate and power efficiency would be a 7950X, but those things are a lot more expensive, especially when you factor in the other components that you need to get, like the motherboard and RAM, that will also be a lot more expensive for a 7950X. So next up is the motherboard, and I got this Gigabyte B550 motherboard. Nothing fancy, just gets the job done basically. Then you got RAM, and these are the ones that I got. 2 sticks of 8GB CL16 3200 MHz. But I did spend a bit of extra here to get like cool ones that has RGB lighting, because, you know, I knew I would have the rig behind me here and I wanted it to look cool in the video for you guys. And plus, RGB adds hash rate, right? I then got this random no-name open air computer case, this Wi-Fi adapter that works natively with HiveOS, since I do not have Ethernet here in the studio. And then I just used one of my old ATX power supply that I took out of one of my GPU mining rigs. It's an EVGA 850 watt gold rated PSU, but to be honest, 850 watts is like way overkill for a CPU mining rig. You would actually want to get something a lot lower spec than that, because, you know, 850 watts, you're gonna be nowhere near the peak efficiency rating for that power supply. So anyway, finally, I also hooked up one of my 3070s to it, because the plan is that I will also be using this rig to sort of test GPUs for videos and stuff like that. But I want to mount it vertically so you guys can see it better, but I didn't have a riser here. So yeah, I guess that will have to wait a few days. Again, all parts will be linked down in the video description. Now, let me show you how I set it all up. So setting it all up is actually pretty dang simple after you actually know what you're doing. Basically, all you have to do is change a few settings in your motherboard BIOS, and then you can just set up a flight sheet like normal in HiveOS or a minor bat file in Windows. So in the motherboard BIOS, all I did was, well, first that AC always on power thing to make sure the rig would power on automatically. And I then disabled precision boost overdrive. Then I just had to enter some simple clock and voltage settings for the CPU, which was clock ratio of 36 and 1 volt on all cores. Then finally, since I will also be GPU mining on this, I turned on above for G-decoding, and yeah, that was basically everything. After that, I just booted into HiveOS. I had to fill in my Wi-Fi settings. You type in Wi-Fi on the rig and then you just follow the instructions. It's super easy, it takes like a minute. And then I just set up my flight sheet and that was it. All right, so let me show you my flight sheet as I talk about what coin I'm mining and why. So I'm going to be mining Raptorium on this rig, at least to start. So in the flight sheet, I just select that as my main coin, add my wallet. I'm using Raptorium.zone as my pool. And then for the miner, I'm using XMRig new. You do need to put a few settings in your setup miner config, so you can pause the video here to see what those are if you're interested. Then you can just add another miner to the flight sheet if you also want to GPU mine on the rig. Then save the flight sheet, apply it, and you're done. So why am I choosing to mine specifically Raptorium on this rig? And honestly, well, I do want to build up a small bag of Raptorium, but the main reason was that it was just easy to set up a wallet for it, since it's natively supported in Zelcore. There are absolutely some other coins that I'm going to be mining on my CPU rigs, like some 𝗬𝗠 and Verus coin, because I definitely do want to build up some bags for those coins for the next potential crypto bull market as well. But both of those coins had a lot more complicated wallets, and I don't know, I just hit this wall recently where I'm just so tired of installing all of these freaking core wallets. Please let me know in the comments if you guys feel like that too, or I don't know, maybe it's just me. All right, finally, let's also talk about my profitability for this rig, as well as my future plans, both in terms of CPU mining and CPU mining videos here on the channel. But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Introducing the Octominer OctoTank 12 Home Immersion Cooling System. The future of cryptocurrency mining and home heating. Quiet, cool, and efficient. The OctoTank 12 allows you to overclock your ASIC miners up to 70% to get more performance for your money. Compatible with up to 2 ASICs. Fully plug-and-play system. The immersion system ensures that your miners stay cool. Perfect for garage or basement heating. Up to 150 square meters of heating capacity. Clean and minimalist design. Fully weatherproof. Designed to last for years. Save money while keeping your home warm and cozy this winter. Order yours now.
So at the wall, if I unplug the GPU first, this rig pulls around 90 watts, and at my 13 cents per kilowatt hour power price, that comes to just above $8 in power per month. And I just finished mining for a full 24 hours on the pool, and as we can see here, I've been paid a total of 145.4 RTM, and I have an unpaid balance of an additional 28.33 RTM, so a total of 173.73 RTM in 24 hours. That's currently worth about 26 cents, so times that by 30 days, and it's a total revenue of just around $8, so the rig is basically just about breaking even for me. However, I want to point out that according to 𝗦𝗡𝗧, I should have made significantly more than I did this day. At my average poolside hash rate of 3.5 kilohash, I should actually have made about 231 RTM per day, which would actually give me a monthly profit of almost $2 off the power. I don't know if the pool just had bad luck on this particular day, or I wasn't paid in full for the first few hours because of the PPLNT payout system, or maybe a bit of both, because usually tend to actually make more than what the calculators say, not less. Anyway, I'm either just about breaking even or I'm a bit profitable. It doesn't really matter that much to me, as I just want to build my Raptorium bags anyway. But one thing I do want to bring up is that Raptorium is in no ways the most profitable coin to CPU mine. As a matter of fact, let's have a look at 𝗬𝗏mining's CPU mining profit calculator here. Shout out to 𝗬𝗏mining, by the way. He's the CPU mining king on YouTube, and he's taught me a lot, helped me a lot with getting this set up. So yeah, shout out 𝗬𝗏mining. So if we come here to the calculator on his website, we can see that with a 3900X at my 13 cents per kilowatt power rate, the most profitable coin, which apparently is Avian, would make me about 35 cents per day after power. You then have 𝗪𝗧𝗠 at 17 cents profit per day, then Ithorium at 10 cents, and so on. Something I did notice though is that Raptorium is like super far down from its all-time high. It's just under about 0.15 cents now, but its all-time high was almost 8 cents. So if it were to get back there to its all-time high, that's like a 50 times increase in price. While for some of these other coins like 𝗬𝗏, if it went back to its all-time high, that's only about a 5 times price increase. Of course, that's far from everything there is to it, and past performance isn't an indicator of future performance and all that stuff, but I don't know, that was just something that was a bit interesting to me. Finally, I want to talk about what I've got coming up on the channel for CPU mining. I'm obviously going to keep doing both GPU mining and ASIC mining content as well, but I want to start adding some CPU mining videos too. Starting with a proper guide for what parts to buy for building an optimal CPU mining rig, and then a full guide on how to build a rig, how to properly overclock, how to set up a BIOS and mining in Windows and HiveOS, and then also some specific hardware guides like what RAM to get and how to power multiple CPU mining rigs, because that's like a whole thing all in itself. Then also some setup guides for how to mine specific coins like 𝗬𝗏, 𝗪𝗧𝗠, Monero, and other coins. I'd also really like to know what you guys would like to see and what you would like to learn about in terms of CPU mining, so please do let me know down in the comments your suggestions.